Today, we're doing a full feature on the sun sky system in Blender 5.0 to create a realistic day to night animation. We'll be using the sun position extension to sync our lighting to the exact real world coordinates to watch the shadows move naturally across our side. And finally, I'll show you a quick shading hack to keep those night scenes looking realistic instead of fading to black. So let's jump right in. Let me import some stuff. Okay, so what we have here is just like a simple village, a floating platform, and some trees. Okay, so I got some village here with some walkways, and there's actually is like a block out for a game or something. So right now you've got this thing is platforms are actually glowing and there's no sun. So to use the sun sky, we have to go to the world tab. No, actually, wait, let's just go to shading. Okay, and drop down here, change from object to world. So currently there's no lights, or I haven't turned on the lights yet. There's some area lights set up here, but we'll get to that later. So right now, our world has this dark gray background. And to get the sun is to add sky texture, which is this one. So as you can see, the default here is multi-scattering, which is the latest in Blender 5.0. It used to be Nishita, so now it's multiple scattering. It has better rendering results. So what I'm gonna do is plug this sky texture into the background, and voila, we got our sky. Why is there no shadows? Using the sky texture with multi-scattering, we should change the render engine from Eevee to cycles. And if you have a GPU, change to GPU compute. And there you go. It looks nice already. So the next thing that we're gonna do, or first of all, let's just use the basics here first. You can adjust the sun size, intensity, and whatnot, but probably what you can adjust here, just use the defaults, but maybe the sun elevation, you could reduce it. So as you can see, the sun sets. What we need to do is to install the sun position extension. So the sun position extension is taken from edit preferences, and go to get extensions and search for sun position. So right now I have mine installed. If you don't have yours, then there will be an install button here. So you can just go here, it's one of those tabs here. So we have our sun position here. So right now you have to choose the sun. So now if you have any lights in the scene, you can choose it as a sun. We can just add a sun, light, and sun. It's here. You can just place it anywhere in the scene, but of course it would be best if it's over your objects. And we can choose the sun from the drop down here. The next thing we do is choose the sky texture from this sun position. Choose the sky texture. Yes. We can get the coordinates of let's say Siem Reap, where Angkor Wat is located. Let's go and see. Let's go and find the Siem Reap lat long. So just have to search. So this is the one that we have to enter. So it's 13 degrees, 0.37 degrees north. Just copy this. And 103.85 degrees east. Why does it? Oh, okay, don't copy the degrees. Okay, so now it's currently nighttime. Where is Siem Reap? So Siem Reap time zone is GMT plus 7. So we go down here to time and place in this time zone 7. So right now it's 12 noon in Siem Reap. Now you want to you can also show the north if you have something that if you need your site to be in an exact location, so you can do a north offset. First of all, you check the north checkbox, so you can see this dotted line. It shows north. So if, for example, your site is maybe like 45 degrees at a 45-degree angle, so the north is here, so it could you could work like that. Maybe let's say 30. Okay, so it's 30 degrees tilt tilted from the north, something like that. And then you can also uh, specify the month and date. So let's say 2025, I don't know, summer. So it's like that. It's pretty hot at noon in Siem Reap. So when you go back to the morning, you can see that the shadows are getting longer. So this is 6 a.m. and as you can also see, the sun, it follows the times. If you can see the sun icon, it follows the time. So this is 6:30, then sunrise about 5 something, and then it's totally dark at 4:30 a.m. So that's what's gonna happen in our animation. It's gonna be like that. So okay, now that we have our sun following the time and the location, we can do the animation. Maybe let's just let me do the video. I mean, let me do the setting. What we would notice here, if it's dark without the light, it gets really dark, right? Let's go to the other angle, the isometric angle. It's totally dark, like no, you can't see anything here. It's totally black out on the surroundings. So I have set up some area lights to simulate some kind of make it alive a bit. As you can see that no, it is better, but if you look at the details, all these dark areas, they're totally black. So what we need to do I mean, this is kind of a hacky thing, but you need to put some light in the dark areas in such a way that it just there's enough light to as show these dark areas as not black. Okay, if that makes sense. So let's look for a mix shader, and place it here, and then we copy the background and place a sort of maybe light blue gray, something like that, light blue gray. Okay, and we plug this into this other shader socket, and for the vector we are going to look for a light path node. So this light path node has a lot of options, and what we're looking for here is diffuse ray socket, and plug it into the vector. So as you can see, what changed again, if you take a look here, this part, they're totally black. Once I plug in the is diffuse ray, and you can see them a bit, right? Like they're not totally black now. So this is better. So if I turn off my lights, now there is this you can still see some forms, just like in the real world or in the dark of night. It's not totally dark. That's kind of rare these days unless you go to the forest. But yeah, that's what I mean. So that when we go into the night part of the animation, no, it's not totally black. So then when we add the area lights, then we have more as a more realistic effect, or something like that. Okay, so let's go into rendering, go to the output tab, and we should set it. I set it to frame rate to 30 frames per second, and the range is it ends to 300. So let's go to this layout, and where you can see the timeline here. So the frame range is from 1 to 300. I've also set up these lights, area lights, which are animated, so they turn on and off according to the time of day. So I'm not gonna talk about that. We'll just talk about the animation of the sun. So okay, right now we have to go to the world tab, and on frame 1 you should go to the sun position. On frame 1 you should set the time to 0, which is midnight, and then hover over the time and press I. Go to the end frame at 300, and then set this one to 23.99, and you can also right click and say insert frame, which is also keyboard shortcut I. So from there you can see, if we press play, that there will be a sun animation. Once that's ready, we will go to the output tab, and so we have to set our resolution. This one is using 1080p, and set the frame rate to 30 frames per second, and the whole frame range is 300. So I'll just keep the default settings wherein I set as an image sequence using PNG and the color to RGBA and color depth to 8. Now we're not going to do some color management right now, so it's just a bit of advanced settings, so we'll just do the default. So we'll save it to a folder. So let's just press this folder and create a new folder here inside, and let's say aerial view inside no. Inside the aerial view, just create a file name template aerial view underscore and press accept. That's the folder we're gonna press, and then render animation or control F12 and wait for animation. Don't forget to check your settings here, cycles, and if you have a GPU, use GPU. You can also lower your samples. I think the default one is 4096. Maybe that's too high and will take too long, so maybe you can lower that to 128 or something like that, or 64. I don't know, 256, maybe 256. Let's try 256 and see how long it will render. Okay, so one frame will cost you 24.56 seconds, so it's up to you to decide whether you want to tweak the settings more or keep it and render on. If you finish rendering, then you can edit it in maybe the video editor in Blender, or maybe bring it to DaVinci yourself. So yeah, that's it. See you next time.